Hello and welcome to episode 51 of the Grove podcast. My name is Mos. I'm your host. I'm back. I'm recovered from my ventures in Milan with this guy sitting on the opposite side from the virtual screen that we hear as he puts his mug of tea down very gently. Tabs, how are you?
I'm tired. I'm still recovering. Yeah. Hello, listeners. Hey, Moz. Yeah, It wasn't like a heavy day or so in Milan. It was just, not a lot of sleep, a few drinks, very intense, but great fun. But yeah, I'm just a bit tired. Just a bit tired.
Yeah,
All
tired
good.
is an understatement. I think when I had was like 1.5 hours of sleep when we were waiting for a pizza to be delivered. It never came in the end. So Jermaine owes me. If you're listening to this, Jermaine, you owe me €20 for that, for half of that Just Eat order that never arrived. We woke up and I remember you both were just sleeping on that train going into the airport, and I thought, what are we doing with ourselves right now? Like, is this what it's come to? We're just like zombies. But it was a good trip. Nice to see Milan as well. Really nice to see Milan, and nice to spend time with yourself and other members of the Grove. And also we had other people tag along that we know from just going to the Emirates. So it was a nice big group of us. So really good fun. Let's get straight into it. And I say this all the time now recently. Let's just rip the plaster off. I've got a lot to say. I'm sure you've got a lot to give me back in your rebuttal. So we'll start with the highlight and low light from the game against Inter where we lost 1-0. On you go.
I suggest, yeah, the highlight was the opportunity to go to Milan to be there. And I was just thinking about it now. I didn't really take it all in properly. We're going to the San Siro to see Arsenal play into Milan. It's nuts, and it was so easy to sort of do. And I think I don't want to take it for granted. So I think my highlight on reflection is like, wow, you sort of get out the train station, you see this massive stadium, and the fact that we get the chance to do this, and that's why for me the result is important, but the experience is the primary thing. And then I loved scooting around Milan with you on the lime scooter. So that was also my highlight. In terms of low light, with the penalty decisions, and I think we'll get into them. How we didn't get one, how they got one, and all the rest of it. I think that was my low light, my frustration, because those were the deciding factors for the game for me. So yeah, that was my highlight and low light.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, my highlight was actually going to be the scooters as well, going through Milan. That was nice. We met for a coffee and some pastries, and then yeah, just ended up getting scooters around the park, and that was really nice. It was nice to do something a little bit different, before the game, and it was quite a relaxed atmosphere before the game and everything. It wasn't too intense, and I quite liked that, to be honest. So that was quite good. My low light was just the manner of our toothless performance. I'll say I feel like we were quite toothless. I know maybe you wouldn't agree as much, and I know we had a not a heated discussion, but we were kept back in the San Siro for what felt like about 17 million years, but it was only an hour and a half, I think, in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, just I just I'll get onto it, but it was just the performance in general, and I think that's just culminated in the fact that the performances in general this season have not been good, and we've been alluding to that, in previous episodes gone. So yeah, the big news, I guess, Tabs, was the day before we found out Rice was injured, and rumours have it that he's got a broken toe. Arteta this morning in his press conference was asked, and he said, "Oh, I don't know. It's up to the physio to decide if the toe is broken." I thought, well, Arteta, you're a clever man. Can you not read an X-ray and see if there's a big line in the toe or not? Or so that was a big worry, I guess, beforehand. But we played with Marino, Partey, Trossard in the middle. I don't think it was the best team possible. I don't think it was the best. It wasn't, as you wrote, it wasn't the optimal team, but it was the best team that we could have put out with the circumstances. Do you think we should have went different?
The one thing that is everyone's lips is the Winery question. I mean, Trossard is so out of form at the moment and not really offering anything. So, is it for me? Would it be so bad to start with Winery? Now, I fully agree with protecting him, taking our time, and all the rest of it. But you got players like, now he's not Lamina Yamal territory, but you've got 17-year-olds starting for top teams around Europe. Just was this potentially a free hit? If we lose this game, we have got a chance to recover. It's only the fourth game, we've got four more games. You know, and we've left ourselves in a position. So let me just say, yeah, we sold the SR, correct decision. Vieira gone, Porto, correct decision. So he's left with our only creative option, analogous to Odegaard, being Ranieri. And if the alternative is not working, and it hasn't been recently, you've got to try something different. So I can understand why not, but I think this was really a good chance there. So I would have liked to have seen him start, because I don't think we would have been any worse off than having Trossard out there.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree with that. I think it's time for Ethan to maybe, or Odegaard being out was the chance for Ethan to get some starts. I really do think that. And so, yeah, it was just one of those things. And watching Trossard as well, I think there was a time where a lot of the fans around us included, were asking, why is he not being subbed off? It was a bit baffling. Apart from that, I think again, when you're bringing on Ethan Waneri over Raheem Sterling and whatnot as well, it just shows what Arteta thinks of him, I guess, in that way. He does trust him, and when he came on, to his credit, he was getting involved this time compared to Newcastle, where he never really got a touch of the ball. He was getting involved and did have a couple of shots, didn't he? But that trademark kind of make the ball kind of go past your body and then turn and shoot. Yeah, God. In terms of the result, then, so you think it was correct me if I'm wrong. So I'll just summarize for you if that's okay. So
Yeah.
you think it was a better performance than Saturday against Newcastle, but not an annoying result because of the goal, the manner of which we conceded that penalty, right? And that I do agree with that. Where I don't agree with you though, Tabs, is that I think we had this discussion after the game, sorry, is that you don't see anything of concern. You're not concerned with how we're playing and what we're doing. Is that right?
No, 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 I am concerned, but I can understand. So no, I wasn't happy with the result, and for me, the result, it was just margins, and at the moment, just nothing is falling our way. We should have had a penalty, in my opinion. They got such a Champions League penalty, so under the rules for Champions League, it's a penalty. But we had shots cleared off the line. We had deflections. We had near misses and stuff like that. So I could see some chinks of armor. I think the concerns are maybe bigger picture in terms of the squad, in terms of our recruitment and where we've left ourselves and what we tried to do. But on this individual game, it was better than Newcastle, which was a bit of a low bar. Um, but I can understand. And remember, we are playing the Italian champions, who are a very good team, that haven't conceded in the Champions League, and we're playing at the San Siro. So even if we go in with a full team, that would still be bloody hard as well. So I can understand the result, and I'm not vexed by the result. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed, and I can see some chinks of light for the future. That's why I wasn't so. You were quite angry. I know that's an immediate reaction, and I get it, and I
I'm
understand it.
still angry.
Yeah.
I'm still angry.
Okay. Well, then explain away why you're still angry, and then I'll provide maybe a bit more extra context that makes me feel a bit more at ease with the result.
20 shots, 4 on target, 3 big chances, all 3 of which were missed. Almost double the amount of passes that Inter Milan had, almost double, 2-to-1 ratio of possession, 13 corners. That's dominant, right? That's domination. And you look at that, you hear those stats and you think that team must have won 4-0, whatever, right? But then you look at the manner of how we played and how we crossed the ball in and what we did. We made 46 crosses into the box to Bukayo Saka. Now, Bukayo, I know you're listening to the pod. You're not the tallest guy, so I do apologise for that. But we're crossing into someone who is not going. When was the last time Bukayo Saka scored a header? When was the last time? I guarantee you, he's probably scored less than 5 headed goals in his Arsenal career, if not even less than 3. Right? That's part number 1. Part number 2 is 20 shots, 4 on target. Where where's the tooth? Where's the final nail in the coffin? Where's the actual end product? If something's not working 45 times, the 46th time you don't still cross the ball into the box. You do something different. We have this U shape in the midfield from wingers to centre mids. And what we're doing is we're passing it from winger to centre mid, back out to winger, wingers crossing it into the box, headed away by the same defender every time. So we couldn't even beat that first man from corners or crosses. Then it goes back out and we're recycling and repeating and recycling and repeating. And then when you get to the corners and you think, right, this is our bread and butter. This is how we've scored so many goals this season. Every single corner was piss poor. No corner made. There was only one, I think. Saliba had a very good header that he could have potentially scored. I think he was falling back. It was very tough. There was one where a shot was blocked. It was on the line, wasn't it? Really, it was kind
No,
of.
no, yeah. So there was the Gabriel header that the guy, I think Sommer got a touch to it, and then the guy on the line cleared it. So we created two chances from corners.
Oh,
The shot that you're talking about is the Havertz shot. That was a cross from Martinelli, which deflected off some guy's inner thigh, and it just ricocheted wide instead of going into the empty net.
yeah, but for me, the worry and the anger is stemming from the fact that we are not playing like Arsenal of 2 years ago. And I said to everyone after the game, I said we played when we had the black away kit season. We played purely on new tactics where we were evolving and we were no team could cope with the way we were playing. We were unbelievable from the start of that season to the end. We were faultless. I was really impressed with that. But we're playing like that again, or we're trying to play like that again, and we're getting found out. We are getting found out by teams who are better than us or even on par with us, like Man City, like Liverpool, like Inter Milan. We're getting found out by these big teams, and there has to be a time where Arteta thinks, right, I need to do something different. I need to think outside the box. Look at Pep and look what he does in terms of changes the lineup, changes the formation, changes who plays as false nine. But we're so predictable. I can tell you what the lineup's going to be on Sunday, and I can tell you exactly how we'll play because it's so predictable. And that's why I'm angry. I'm not angry from a 1-0 defeat in Milan. I think it was a culmination of everything coming in together, and also just with the fact that we've watched 90 minutes of us just, and it was at our side as well in the second half, and it was just constant, constant, constant. But there was no attempt from Arteta until the subs were made, and I think the first sub, apart from we talk about Gabby Jesus, obviously came on from Marino at half time due to a concussion, and also he was unwell apparently. But then the first proper sub was in the 82nd minute, and that to me, I love Arteta to bits. I'm not calling for him to be sacked at all. But the 82nd minute to make the first proper sub in play when Inter Milan have made 5 subs prior to that, for me was unforgivable. That loss, that performance is on him. And I think he knew that in the post match press conference as well.
So a couple of things on that. I think with our crossing, you're right, it wasn't up to scratch. And look, even Saka, I think only 3 of his crosses actually found anyone in the box. I think having Marino come off so he's not there second half didn't help. So yeah, you're right. We should change our tactic a bit. If you've only got one 6-footer in the box, why you keep trying to get in there? You're right. We didn't do anything through the middle. It was everything going wide, and those wingers were isolated. So there's a couple of things, and I knew this was going to come up, so I sort of prepared for this. There's a couple of things with our current predicament. I think the way he was going to deal without Odegaard is that we're using our fullbacks to overlap, to attack, to support our wingers. Now, Calafiori is out. Timber and Rice are not fit. They are not fit. They're just barely able to do the defensive work. There's hardly any overlapping from Timber. White is doing it a little bit. But yeah, so therefore that's why they're isolated, because he was expecting to use those. We saw those in the game with Leicester, with Southampton, how the wingers inverted, our midfielders went out wide, and there was partnerships there. And you see now Martinelli's dropped off since Calafiori's gone out and Timber's come in. So I think so. There's a limitation in terms of what he can do with what he's got. We've got players out of form which aren't helping. So I think that's where the toothlessness comes in, and that's why the question is: okay, well, if that's not happening, you don't have those players aren't fit. Bring Ranieri in to have that creativity, because you saw him come on and do that. To your point about us versus 2 years ago, the reason why you haven't seen the best of us this season is because you're not playing with the best of us. We are dealing with injuries, suspensions, new players, people out of form, suspension, and all the rest of it. And it's post-international tournament, which always has an effect on teams. So we can't be the best of ourselves if we haven't got the best of ourselves out there. And so we're having to make do. And I think they said this last time, on individual games you can get away with one game here, one game there, but cumulatively that will eventually take its toll. And yes, you need everyone. And when you're going to deal with these situations, you need everyone firing. And I just think it's a combination of all those factors that mean it's hard to judge us at the moment, because what is there to judge apart from a team that's had to deal with a hell of a lot? Yes, I think we could do better, but also in the context of where we are, we're not doing that badly either. It's just frustrating that we've got an opportunity in front of us and we're just not able to take it.
I agree. I agree with your points to a certain extent, but at the same time, there has to be a moment where we realise we're not just a Martin Odegaard team like how Chelsea are just Cole Palmer FC and whatnot, right? We're not just a team that has a Martin Odegaard that changes everything. Yes, now he's back, hopefully, fit for Sunday against Chelsea, which we'll come on to in a sec. He's back. I mean, it's great, but I still think we should have played better without Martin Odegaard. We have enough quality in this squad. We have depth as well. And if we're not winning games with this depth, then is the depth good enough? And I said to you guys in the second half, and I'm not going to say the names, and I don't want to call people out, but I had two WhatsApps from two different people message me separately during the game saying the jury's out on Marino, and I fully agree. That kind of thing. So, but your point to that was he's playing in a dysfunctional team at the moment, out with injuries and suspensions. Fine, but there's not been any brilliance with Marino. We've not
No,
seen anything, but we've not seen anything, Tabs, from Mikel Marino that makes me think, wow, that was money well spent.
but that's not his role in a way. And look, he's played 380 minutes, and he did really well against Liverpool. So we weren't worried about him when he played well in Liverpool. He scored the header and all that. So he again, international tournament to the final, came in injured straight away. He's only played 380 minutes. He's coming in, and he's not going to be that game changer, brilliant player. He's going to be a functional player, able to, again, win battles, be there for headers, the height, and all the rest of it. And I think, but the main question here, so I can forgive that. And again, it's hard to judge him, as you said, because it's very easy bringing in a player, putting him into 11 players or 10 players who are playing really well, put him in, they'll be fine. All of a sudden, it's not. But the thing is with I think that 8 position, it's always been difficult. Xhaka took a while to get used to it. Havertz never got used to it, and then we needed him up front. So I think also it comes to how we use that 8 role. And I think the main question is the recruitment over the summer. We did try and go for a centre forward at the beginning, but we didn't get Seshko. There really wasn't many options, and so the way Arteta wanted to set up was big players, dual winners, and stuff like that. So we had a certain style in mind, but we're dealing with adversity here, and I think we're doing the best we can. So I think the question that you raised there is our squad good enough, and have we realised we've got a single point of failure that if other things fail, yeah, we're gonna struggle.
Let's move on and discuss the penalty incident. Then this is another bugbear that I've got with a lot of the Arsenal fans, you included, Tabs, as well, for for
Thanks.
for, for your comments and what people think about this. People are saying, "Oh, it's such a Champions League penalty." Well, can I just ask you what tournament are we playing in? We're playing in the Champions League, so that gets given, right? And I know that's not what they mean. And you wrote here, "Oh, it's nonsense! A penalty for having arms. What is he supposed to do?" Now, I'm sorry, but to me, all day, every day, that is a penalty. The rule, I think, should
Not
be
in the Premier League, it isn't.
no, but I don't agree with it. I think the rule should be if it hits you in the on the arm or in the hand, it should be either a free kick or a penalty. That the rule should be one for all, and that's it, regardless of what competition. But because we're playing in the Champions League and that happens, we know what the rules are like. It's not Marino's fault that it
No,
hit his arm, but we can't be aggrieved with giving that penalty away. What do we want the ref to do? Oh, sorry, you guys are a Premier League team, and you're playing against a Serie A team, so here you go. Don't have the penalty.
I think people aren't agreeing with that. No, people know as soon as you saw it. Oh shit, that's a penalty. Because, but the one we got against Shakhtar, yeah, I don't agree that should have been a penalty. So no, we know it should be a penalty. in terms of Champions League, we know it's going to be given a penalty. I think the rule is stupid. Everyone's think the rule is stupid because it's hit from a yard away, not any danger. What's he supposed? He's balancing it out. His arms in a natural position because the most is really weird. The most unnatural position for your arms is standing like upright, like you're river dancing. So his so I think people are agreed with the actual rule, not the ruling. So that's why we think it's, and also to give an 85% of a chance of a goal for a flick here, there, that's going innocuous. How is that? How that do you not feel that punishment is so hard in comparison to the actual incident that take place? Fine, indirect free kick, direct free kick, because otherwise we're turning into hockey where people are just going to play for short corners and going to play for penalties, just flick it up into people's arms, get a penalty, and it's like, for me, the law is a nonsense, not the actual giving of that penalty. Yeah, as soon as it was there, oh shit, that's a penalty because in the Champions League, that's a penalty.
Okay. I just don't agree with people who say, "Oh, it's a Champions League penalty that
Well,
should never have been given," or people I've seen on Twitter people saying it shouldn't have been given because it was so close. But no, it's a penalty in the Champions League, and
yeah,
that's not the reason why we lost. If we'd drawn that game 0-0 with the amount of domination we had as well, I still would have been angry. I'm not angry because we conceded that goal, and to be honest with you, it was a really looking back on it as well, and I'm probably just really angry, and I'm not calmed down, and people will listen to this and think, "Oh, Moz is being reactionary," and it's typical Arsenal fans being reactionary. But it's a culmination, as I said, of all the performances that we've had. And I've been to the last four games and I've watched us play in person, and I really don't think it's good. But the one thing I will say as well is that it was a really poor penalty, and I really think David Raya should have done.
come on, come on.
No,
He,
I
cho-
think
he, cho- he chose away. It's
I
any
think he
penalty
moved
that goes
far too
in.
early. I think he moved way too early.
Yeah, but the reason he saved the penalty on Atalanta was because went early. It's it's just what it is. It's an 85% chance. He's got 15% chance. A lot of the time, you're guessing. You're trying to read it. I guessed he was going to shoot that way. You wait and then he shoots and then you don't get a chance to do it. So you can't put anything on Ray on that. I'm sorry. I am going to call you out on that. But again, if you think so, then
I don't. It's not his fault that they scored it, but I just think he moved way, way too early.
yeah. But if you think about the penalty save against Porto in the knockouts
But
last year.
but that's not going to get us a win
No,
against.
no, no. But then he saved the one against I can't remember the guy that took it. Against Atalanta. More often than not, he's not going to get. But what do you think then about the penalty that we didn't get when Marino got punched in the head? Do you think that should have been a penalty?
I've seen various clips and stills of it, and it's a tough one. Like he kind of went under the ball, so I can see why it wasn't given. But at the same time, yeah, I would be if that happened in the Premier League, I think that gets called back by VAR. But yeah, I was nonplussed by it because number one, we never really seen it that well from that end of the ground that we were at, so we couldn't really see, and there was no highlights of it, so it was just about afterwards watching it. But then, yeah, I think the handball is more of a penalty than
Yeah.
the punch, but both are probably still penalties.
Mm. And that's why I mean that's why I can sort. That's why I'm saying the game was about margins. Like as I said, the one off the line, the one that just got deflected wide. If the ball had bounced a little bit differently for us, we would have come away 1-1, and we'd have gone. That's a good result against the Italian champions in the San Siro. Against the team that hasn't let in any goals. In the Champions League, you'd take it and go home. And that's why I won't. I can't get too annoyed because I'm a context guy and I can see that it could have gone either way. And that was a 0-0 1, or I said it was going to be low scoring. That had that because Inter Milan, after they got their goal, they didn't do anything. I mean, they didn't have to do too much, but they didn't do anything to try and threaten us or trying to extend their lead. And did you not see how they celebrated at the end? They were all like, they scored a 1-0 defensive, played on the back foot second half. They were really happy with that point. So I think that speaks volumes as well in terms of their mentality for the game. That wow, they managed to hold on to a 1-0. So I keep saying football's stupid sometimes, and sometimes you'll win 5-0 with an XG of 0.5, and sometimes you won't get a goal, and you've done what we've done and created numerous chances and just bounced left or right.
Yeah,
It,
I don't know. I'm not angry at I'm not angry at losing 1-0 to
no, no, yeah,
away. I'm angry at the manner of the performance. I'm angry at how we've been playing,
I
and
get
you're
it.
saying, "Oh, we've not seen the best of us" and all this stuff. But yeah,
Is
fine.
anger the right word? Is it more frustration? I just wanted because I just
No, I'm angry.
I'm concerned for your health and well being here. So I just
No,
is it
I'm
is it
I'm
more
angry. I'm angry.
oh, okay?
Yeah.
And do you think that's justified considering?
Yeah, I do. I think for me it is justified because I've seen us play the last four games and Preston aside,
Yeah, good.
even Preston to be honest, Raheem Sterling, I could have been
Yeah,
angry at him for some of his misses, which is very individualised and very
yeah,
contextual in that sense. However, I'm angry at the way we like just the manner in which we're conceding goals, like Liverpool conceding that stupid goal that they could equalise with. Uh, just really really poor defending. It just wouldn't have been Arsenal of old, and I know it's different because obviously we don't have Saliba there, and that potentially would not have happened. But it's just the way that we're playing that's making me angry.
yeah,
It's not about the results individually. It's just the way that we're playing is just making me a little bit angry.
yeah.
Well, maybe I wouldn't say a little bit angry, just quite angry to the point where I think if and we'll come on to this in a second about Chelsea, but if the performance is still like that against Chelsea, then and if we can't lift ourselves up against them, then honestly, there's something really seriously wrong with the squad. And someone I don't know if this is like I don't know if this is just I think this is personally just BS. But someone had a massive thread on Twitter. I don't know if you've seen about Saliba, and since the international break, he's just not been his
No,
his usual
yeah,
self.
I think he's another player. I think there are players suffering post international tournament as well. Like he had a bad international break. He was criticised heavily in the French public. Yeah, not everyone. I mean, Saliba was brilliant last year, so not everyone can maintain those high standards. And I think this is where the international break comes in. They go deep in the tournament. He played practically every minute of last season. He's practically playing every minute of this season. And form isn't, a constant. It dips and all the rest of it. And the problem is when two or three players all in the same team drop form at the same time, then that's a struggle, and it's sometimes hard to get out of that slump, and that's why you just maybe you need those things to go your way just to lift it a bit. But when it's not, it's mentally challenging as well. So I said with teams also, so someone like Rice plays every minute of every game for whoever he is, and I'm sure he, and he'll play for England with a broken toe and whatever. So again, you get to finals, you get to semi-finals, you win or you lose. It's taxing, and they have hardly any pre-season, and they have hardly any break, and they're back on it again, and then the pressure's on, the intensity's on, and it's sometimes you will have a slump, and he's only 22, 23, so he's still trying to work his way. How do I deal with this? So I know I've seen it. So Gabriel is our best defender. He's outshone everyone by a mile this season. But yeah, I mean, and that's where it comes down to expectations, because I can see why. So I won't be too down on a lot of these players, because my expectation is tempered by context and situation. So yeah, people will always find fault in everything, but then justify it, explain, have some critical thinking about it, rather than just, as you said, oh, player plays bad, he's shit, type stuff. And I'm not saying that's you, but there's a lot out there. There's very, very, very like that. So what's the answer then? How do we deal with this then?
I'm not paid 120 grand a week to go on that pitch and play. That's a problem. Sign me up. Um, no, there's no way out of this slump apart from just the case of winning games. And we've got the same level, the same number of points this time compared to last season and things. But my concern is, the gap is getting bigger and bigger. We're just so lucky that Man City lost last week. Liverpool look like a very good team. The only team that have not lost a game in Europe in the Champions League so far, or in any competition in Europe. They've only lost one all season to Nottingham Forest, who are doing very, very well, and who we actually play soon too after the international break. So I don't have an answer for you, Tabs. I genuinely don't have an answer. I think the key is to beating Chelsea on Sunday, and that can, we have no suspensions, no current suspensions. We've got a couple of injuries with Calafiori and a couple of players tired, but um, I guess yeah, if we beat Chelsea, then things will look a lot better. We need to just what we need is we have to go on a winning run from now until pretty much Christmas. You know, we need to. If I think if we lose 1, 2 games in the Premier League, um, that's it. It's over. I think we have to go on a winning run. I think we have to have a little bit of a cup run in the FA Cup. I don't really mind, as you know, about the Carabao Cup. Um,
Remember, you're not going to the final, yeah?
Even if we did, even if
I'm
we were
joking.
winning the quadruple, so this is, Jermaine was giving me stick for this last night again on the group chat, and I said even if we were getting to the final and I'd been to every other game, I still wouldn't go because I don't want to watch us lift that trophy. I want to watch us lift other ones. But yeah, I won't be there anyway. I can't make it that weekend anyway. So, and then he replied, "So why did you go to Preston?" Well, I like watching Arsenal play. I like watching us play. I don't doesn't mean what competition. And my rebuttal to that is how many games have you been to, Jermaine, in the Carabao Cup? So,
Sorry,
completely.
listeners, I'm just bringing out my fishing rod and any hook, line, and sinker. So go on then. What are you looking forward to for the Chelsea game, and what you're not looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to we seem to play well against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. We always seem to raise it a little bit against them. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to Premier League football being back. I'm looking forward to we've got an international break coming up. I'm actually looking forward to this one. I think it's a chance for a lot of the players to rest and get some some recuperation in and some physio and all the rest of the stuff. I think Odegaard's not travelling with Norway, and there's a couple of the players obviously who won't be out. So it's a chance for the likes of Calafiori potentially to step up the rehab.
Yeah.
What I'm not looking forward to is the continuation of the performances that we've had in the last few games. Preston aside, I would say I'm not looking forward to that continuing and Chelsea taking advantage of it. If Cole Palmer is fit, there's rumours that he's out for 2 or 3 weeks. But if he is fit, then this could get quite not messy, but if we're not firing on all cylinders, we could end up losing this game very easily. The game could get away from us. Just like Inter, just quickly going back to that,
Yeah.
when it was 1-0, they had a couple of very good chances to score. Not as in like shots, but they had chances where they were up the pitch.
Yeah.
And you always worry as an Arsenal fan, like, oh my god, is this is this if they go 2-0 up, that's it. Game's definitely over. So that's the worry for me. What about you?
Um, I'm looking forward to having space to attack because Chelsea don't do mid block, low block. I'm not sure they know how. I don't think they're defensively that great. I think their strength lies through the middle and out in the flanks. And everything goes through Cole Palmer. So I'm looking for will there be space for us to exploit because they will be on the front foot. That will open up spaces. I think you know, our defense is still very good, still very solid. So I'm looking at that space. Will we have the team to exploit that space? Will we have players confident enough to exploit that space? Will we use that space? Don't know, but that's what. And in terms of not looking forward to, look, you know how much I love Chelsea. You know how that clown car of a club gets my goat. So I just don't want them to have any joy, any happiness from this game. It just that this game more than any other is the one that I hate the most and love the most if we win. So I just don't want to see any smiley faces at Stamford Bridge other than that red and white corner. Uh,
Yeah, the
yeah.
only doubts are Odegaard. Obviously, I don't think he would have come on unless Havertz had his head knock, which was quite bad. But the fact that I just said, he's not going away with his international team with Norway, is he really that fit? That's the only concern, really. I don't know whether we'll see him start. I think we might see him come off the bench again. Um, Declan Rice has like we think, a broken toe apparently, but it's one of those ones where it depends what toe it is. If it's your smaller toes, it's actually worse than your bigger toes. So we'll have to wait and see if he plays. But if we have no Rice, no Odegaard on Sunday, then that's a very makeshift central midfield where the likes of it'll be Marino, Party, Trossard again, pretty much, and that doesn't work. That's three midfielders who have probably never played with each other apart from against Milan and against Chelsea in the Premier League away from home. That concerns me a little bit more than it did against Inter.
Mm.
Obviously, Raheem Sterling's ineligible because he's on loan. So, as you wrote here, do we go for Ethan? Does Ethan start, and do we just try something a little bit left field and just play off vibes, shall we say?
Well, look, I mean, yeah, is he any worse than Trossard at the moment? I can't see it, and what's he protecting him from? Just do it again. There's always going to be a reason not to play him, so let's find a reason to play him. And I think just do it. Learn something. Fine. If we're going to lose, fuck it, lose it with Waneri in the team, not Trossard. And I think Waneri would be able to ride that out. He knows it wouldn't be anything to do with him, right? You know, the reason again I doubt is that after the international break, Odegaard will return. So he's left it to the last possible moment to play him, and then he plays really well, and then what? I mean, okay, I'll take that, and then there's a decision to make. So I'd like to see. I'd like to see. I don't think we were saying at the San Siro, we saw the amount Odegaard was warming up, but he was just never coming on. He was just there because everyone else was there. The fitness, he was just there doing his fitness. So to then suddenly throw him into this game, yeah, I'd be surprised, but then also I wouldn't be surprised because if it was Saka, starting straight away. So maybe Ode. I'm 50-50 on that one. Um, and therefore, then the Waneri question is taken out the equation. Rice, I think he'll play. I think having 70% Rice with an injection is better than nothing. I just want him to come off late on when we're 3-0 up. Say, I've hurt my foot. I can't go to England duty, and then put his feet up for 2 weeks. Timber's not going. Timber's the other one not going away with the Netherlands. So he should rest up. White obviously won't be, so he can rest up. Yeah, and as you said, Sterling can't play, and I had a thought about Sterling because he obviously Arteta doesn't trust him. Obviously, the big games we need goals. He doesn't come on. I think Sterling is just the replacement for Nelson. Same money, so that's fine. And I think he just got him in to rest up Saka for the easy games, for the FA Cup games, for the Carabao Cup games. He's not here to perform in the top games unless he gets some form. He's here just to take minutes during those games that we should win, that should win easily. And I think that's how it will be unless something drastic changes.
I would agree with that. So, clown car of a club, Chelsea, currently above Arsenal in the league on goal difference by 2 goals. That'll change on Sunday. Their form's not great. They did win. They won 8-0 against Noah.
Yeah, so that's 11 men against one. That's not fair. So and he's a biblical character from thousands of years ago. That's just not fair, is it?
No, and they only scored 8 goals against him.
I know exactly. A shit.
He was too busy building his ark, getting the animals onto it, probably. So it was probably 11 against 0.
Did
But
they
no.
flood the box?
Oh God, I'm trying to think of a pun, but I need to, as the host, I have duties to continue the conversation. So, um, yeah, I have no idea what to say. But look, Chelsea, they lost 2-1 to Liverpool. They beat Newcastle. They've drawn 1-1 with Forest. They've not really played any big teams apart from they played City first game of the season. They weren't great, and then obviously they played Liverpool, so they have lost two of their kind of the games against the big teams. And they don't really seem to have like very good home form or very good away form. In fact, it's funny because their away form is actually better than their home form, but they don't
Yeah.
seem to be a team that plays well home or away. They've got they've played 5 at home, they've won 2, drawn 2. They've played 5 away, and they've won 3, drawn 1. So just it's very very similar. The only worry I have is Cole Palmer, obviously, who is unbelievable as a player, and if he is fit, we need to just make sure that we are keeping him very, very quiet for that game. Outside of Cole Palmer, I really don't. Yeah, there's no one else really of note, is there? I'm
Um,
kind of surprised to see that Nicholas Jackson has six goals.
yeah. He again. He's like I say. He's like all the top scorers. He misses a lot, but he scores a lot, and he's in that process of scoring. So all the top. If you look at if you would say who misses the most chances, it's people like Haaland, people like Salah, because they take the most shots and they score the most goals. So he's come on. He's come on this year. Say 6 goals. He is a threat, but he may need 2 or 3 chances. I think Casado's having a good season for them in the middle. He's the standout midfielder for them. For me, is look. You throw £1 billion at a club, you eventually get a group of players that might play well. And I think Chelsea are yet to be tested when times are hard. I think they're a summertime team, so when things are going well, when things are nice, they will perform well and perform nicely. They have yet to go through a downward bit, go through big issues, because I think they're a good bunch of players, but I don't think they're a good team. If you see
Yeah.
see the difference, and what they have is options off the bench. Now those options can be hit and miss. So they can. Neto can come on; he can be really fast, but he can be like a Traore, or he can be amazing. You got you've obviously got our friend Mudryk again. So you don't really know what you're getting. It can go either way. So we need to, yeah. I think we're going to need 2 or 3 goals to win this game. I think this game is going to be there's going to be goal. I'm pretty sure there has to be goals. I'm pretty sure of it. We're surprised if it's like a 0-0, 1-0. This is 2-1, 3-2, 3-1 territory for me, and unfortunately, either way, I think, yeah, that's where I am with that. So there are threats, of course. Cole Palmer's on. If Cole Palmer's not there, I'm confident. I think we can win. Again, is something going to go away? Is this when our season changes?
What's your prediction then for this season-changing game?
3-2 Arsenal.
Are you wearing an Arsenal Aries? Did you buy the Arsenal Aries? I just noticed that when you stood up there.
Yeah,
God, nice. It looks really nice, actually.
it is. It is actually quite nice.
Yeah, I like it.
Um, other than it's meant to be a hoodie, and then I keep trying to put my hands into the hand warmer section of the hoodie, and they don't have it. So it feels like I'm playing with my belly button half the time. Yeah, so 3-2. Anyway, that's the sort of content people have come to listen to. So yeah, 3-2 Arsenal. And you?
Um, this is going to sound really bad because I don't think I've ever predicted us to not win a game. But I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea.
Okay, that's not beyond the realms of possibility.
I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea. I think this slump is going to continue a little bit longer. So
Okay.
I think Chelsea are going to take advantage of it. I feel really bad predicting us to lose a game, but I hope that I've been wrong for every prediction so far. So I hope
Yes.
I'm wrong for this one.
Yeah, you thought we were going to go to Inter Milan and win 5-0 or something.
No, I said 3-2, did I not?
Oh no! You did. You said we were going to just smash them.
Oh, right. Okay. I was just running on vibes. I think I was excited from previous games and whatnot. So, but yeah, no. Kind of final thoughts then, I guess. Tabs from you. Everything's going to be okay, right?
Uh, yeah, in the end, and if it's not okay, it's not the end.
What a brilliant way to sum it up. And it's yeah, for me, I'm not being reactionary. I'm not being Arteta out. I'm not hating on any individual players. I'm hating on their individual performances and the way the team collectively are playing. And I'm angry because it's not what we expect, and it should not be what we are used to and accustomed to. Is this mediocrity that we say, "Oh, we're going through a slump. It's fine," because the other teams around us who are above us in the league, they don't have that. And if we want to be the best, we have to not only beat the best, but play like the best as well. And that is how I feel. So, Tabs, thank you for joining me this evening on a nice Friday evening. What's your plans this weekend?
I'm going to Brentford, Bournemouth tomorrow. Just because my local club, and going to see a friend. So occasionally I'm a member there. So occasionally I'll go and see them when Arsenal aren't playing on Saturday. So doing that with the boy, and then visiting the folks. You?
Nothing. It's just nice and relaxed. Obviously going to Liverpool, Preston, Newcastle, Milan. It's just taken its toll on me. So I've not had a weekend just to myself. order a wee Chinese tomorrow, I think, and just relax. Back to work as well on Monday, so big week ahead. So yeah,
Get
just relaxing.
get some meditation done just to bring down those just, and relax. Bit of deep
It'll,
breathing.
it'll make me more angry. I'll just use my hopium and my copium and my whatever else to hope that Arsenal win on Sunday against Chelsea at 4:30. Thank you so much for listening to this episode 51. We'll be back during the week after next week. When you are listening to this, it'll be probably Monday or Tuesday for a Chelsea post match and kind of international break look ahead. And keep your eyes and ears peeled on social media. We have some very exciting things going on in the future. So keep your eyes on the Grove AFC on Twitter, Threads, Instagram, Bebo, MySpace, whatever,
Smoke rings, pigeons, yeah, all the rest of it.
and MSN
We,
Messenger.
we got it covered.
We have it
All right.
covered. Thank you,
Ciao, ciao.
Tabs. Have a nice weekend and see you, listeners.
Ciao, ciao.